Here is how you can set up a virtual machine in 2 commands. Type in Vagrant Init /bionic64 and then Vagrant up. And that's all it takes to have a virtual machine running. So what is this Vagrant thing and what is it good for? Vagrant is a tool that makes building and managing virtual machines super easy. It allows you to spin up, configure, and remove virtual machines very easily. And yes, this is a real VM. I can launch it, I can log into it, and I can configure it in any way I want. And in the same token, I can remove it with just one command by typing in Vagrant destroy. With all that being said, how do you use Vagrant? You're going to need 2 pieces of software, VirtualBox or any other supported hypervisor, and Vagrant itself, of course. I already have both of these installed on my computer, but you can install Vagrant from the Vagrant website, which by the way is under the HashiCorp, which is a company that also provides Terraform. And the same for VirtualBox. You just need to go to their website and install it for your specific system. Once you have both set up, that's it. You are now ready to start using Vagrant. First, you want to verify you installed Vagrant by running the command vagrant-v. And if you see the Vagrant followed by a version number, then that means you have Vagrant installed. Once you have Vagrant installed, you want to initialize the directory you'll be working in. You are welcome to create a directory to dedicate to your Vagrant environment, but it's not necessary. To initialize a directory, you type in Vagrant Init, then a box or a URL. This box you specify is pretty much a virtual machine that is already pre-built by someone, in my case, HashiCorp. At this point, you're ready to bring up your virtual machine by typing in Vagrant up. This should bring up a virtual machine automatically, as you can see in the VirtualBox application. I can now SSH into the system using the Vagrant SSH command and interact with the virtual machine as normal. I can also just use a VirtualBox to access it and do whatever I want with it. Okay, this is great and all, but what else can I do with Vagrant? For me, what I'd want to use Vagrant for is to spin up multiple virtual machines at the same time. For instance, for my Ansible video, which I will hopefully eventually get back into, I want to spin up a bunch of virtual machines so I can test its functionality as it's intended. So I'm going to go to Vagrant's website that hosts all the boxes and find one that is CentOS 7 to deploy. The goal here is to run Vagrant up and have multiple virtual machines come up at the same time. This is going to require figuring out the right configuration to put in the Vagrant file. Here you see the existing Vagrant file that was created when we initialized our environment. You can see our existing box called HashiCorp/Bionic64, which is just an Ubuntu image. I'm going to speed through the part where I try to figure out what configuration to use because it took me a while and a lot of Googling, but eventually this is a configuration that worked for me. The first part defines the CentOS 7 box and the second part defines the Ubuntu box. I don't know if you actually need the IP address line. I was configuring a second NIC so I can SSH into it from other VMs. But the result was 2 VMs that automatically spin up when you enter the command Vagrant up. You can ignore the first 2 VMs you see on my VirtualBox machine. The first one is an existing VM that I had, and the second one is from my initial test that is still running somewhere. And there you have it. That is the basics of how you can configure virtual machines using Vagrant. If you found value in this video, please like and subscribe. Until next time, peace.